Your ex has moved on, but you haven't. You still care about her. You still love her. You hate her. You tell yourself you hate her, but you can't stop thinking about her and you can't stop caring. What do you do? What do you do when she's moved on and you haven't? I'm going to give you 7 steps, 7 things that you can do right now to heal from this and to start to move on yourself. If she's moved on and you haven't, I imagine you are feeling a lot of painful emotions. You are probably angry. You are probably sad, heartbroken. It hurts. And you are probably terribly frustrated with yourself for not being able to get over this. So, the first thing you need to do is accept where you are. And you do that by noticing, pay attention to your body and your emotions. Paying attention to your body and your emotions is actually one and the same thing. Your emotions happen in your body. So, all of that stuff, all of that anger, that fear, that hurt, that pain, that grief, that shame, whatever it is, it's happening physically. So, the very first step is to take a moment and tune in. What is happening physically? Where do you feel that pain? How big is it? What shape is it? Is it sharp? Is it dull? Is it moving? What color is it? Just take a moment, look inwards, and pay attention to what is happening in your body. What are those emotions? Get curious. The second step is to breathe deeply. As you start to notice those emotions, you might find yourself getting anxious because they're there. Breathe, breathe into those feelings, not to make them go away, but to feel them more fully, to allow them to be there, to notice, to be curious, to be compassionate for your own experience. Get into your body, breathe to stay in your body, and notice what is actually happening. What are you feeling? You might do that for 10 seconds and that's enough. You might do it for 20, 30, maybe you get up to a minute and a half. That's awesome. Practice it. Then practice step 3, which is get into the here and now. Let yourself come out of that emotional experience and connect to something physical. You might do that by noticing, what do you feel? Feel your feet on the ground, feel your chair under your seat. You can do it by looking at something directly in front of you. Pick up your pen and look at it. Connect to something physical here and now. You can also pay attention to what you hear in your environment, something that brings you into the present moment. It's either visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, tactile, something you feel. So, step 1, get in your body, feel your emotions physically. Step 2, breathe into them and allow them to be there. Step 3, come back to the here and now, connect to the present moment. Step 4 is incredibly important. Control the things that you can control. What you can control is yourself. Honestly, that's probably about it. You can control you. You can choose what you do today, how you show up today. You can choose, most importantly, how you're going to think, how you're going to think about yourself, how you're going to think about the divorce. You can choose the stories that you tell yourself throughout the day. And you can tell yourself horrible, painful, nasty stories about how bad you are and how awful you are and how terribly you messed up and how you're unworthy of love. Or you can choose to tell yourself a more hopeful story, a story that allows for the fact that you're human and that you arrived at this moment with a whole lifetime, a whole history of thoughts and feelings and beliefs and patterns and cycles and defense mechanisms. You can give yourself some grace and you can be curious about your own experience. And in that, you can find some hope moving forward. Control the things you can control. In step 4, you can also control certain things in your environment. Exercise that control. It will empower you. It might be as simple as turning up the air conditioning when you're hot in your car or in your home. Something simple that you can control. It will make you feel better. It might be something a little bit bigger, like doing your dishes or showing up at work and doing an amazing job for that new client. Control everything in your life that you can control. And then step 5 is harder. Surrender to the things you cannot control. The things you cannot control, let them go. Accept that they are there. Namely, you guys, this is your ex-wife. You can't control her. You can't change the way she thinks. You can't change what she feels. You can't change who she's dating. You have to surrender to what you cannot control. As long as you fight it, as long as you torment yourself with thoughts of how it shouldn't be this way, how it isn't right, on and on and on, the more you are going to suffer, the more pain you're going to be in. Control what you can control. Surrender to, let go of the things you cannot control. Step 6 is very simple, but it's hard to do. Be nice to yourself. Talk positively to yourself about yourself. I don't mean tell yourself a whole bunch of hokey positive affirmations that you don't believe. That won't work. You cannot trick your brain with like happy, joyful things. You can't be like, I am the best guy ever and I'm such an amazing catch, when your brain is telling you that you're a horrible person and you just ruined your marriage and lost the only person you ever loved. It doesn't work that way. Your brain is too smart. You cannot tell it lies, but you can choose to be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself in a way that is true and honest, but also kind and compassionate. Be nice to yourself. Talk positively, but realistically to yourself. Because frankly, some of those negative doomsday thoughts, like I'll never be happy again and I'll never get over this and no one will ever love me, like, are those really realistic? No, those aren't any more realistic than those overly positive affirmations. Talk honestly to yourself. Talk kindly to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Step 7 is to do something life-giving in this moment. Something life-giving can be simple. It doesn't have to be momentous. Something that brings you joy, that breathes a little bit of life into your body. Maybe it's walking your dog or going for a run or reading a book or picking up the phone and calling a friend. Something that feels good to you right now, something that gives you a small bit, maybe joy is the wrong word, but a little bit of peace, a little bit of relief, something that breathes life into your body. Do it. The last step is the most important. Repeat steps 1 through 7 over and over and over again. You guys, divorce is huge. This is a big deal. There is a lot to process. There's a lot to go through. You are not just going to snap out of this and be fine. And I do not care what the movies say or what your buddies tell you. It's not that easy. You don't just get over it. You don't just, and you don't want to just get over it that quickly anyway, because you loved this person. It did matter. It was important. It was meaningful. And that is something to grieve. It is natural, it is healthy, it is normal. And frankly, I think you want to go through this process. And if you're worried that the fact that your ex moved on so quickly means that she didn't really love you or that this didn't really matter to her, I want you guys to go and watch the last video I made. It's called Why Did Your Ex Leave? It talks about 4 reasons why she left. And I think it will help you make peace with some of those fears that this didn't matter to her. Follow these 7 steps. They work. They will help. They will help you move through those painful emotions, connect to yourself, connect to your future, and start to feel better. You get stuck, especially with steps 4 and 5, the controlling what you can control and surrendering to what you can't. Book a call with me. I can help you get there. Those are sticky places, especially letting go of the control of the things you can't control, guys. I know, I get it. It is not that simple. I also know that you can do it. And I also know that when you do it, it is going to be such a key to creating the future you want and to feeling the joy and the happiness and the connection that you want to feel. So if you'd like my help with that, book a call. There's a link to book a free strategy session with me in the video description below, and we'll talk it all through. And I'll help you make a roadmap and a game plan to get this done. I'll see you guys in the next video.